Back here with more Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler, live here in the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. And there I am. It's really good to see everybody. And we are live here, so we appreciate everybody who's tuning in and joining us for the show. We get to cover a wide range of topics, but this weekend, depending on when you're watching, it is coming up on Mother's Day. And with Mother's Day, we've been talking about different ways to celebrate that and different gestures and things you can do for the moms in your life, whoever they may be. And we wanted to talk about some other ways to do that. And we've got, I would say, an expert joining us to talk about this right now. We've got Rebecca here to discuss Mother's Day and just, discuss your book, discuss a lot of things. And Rebecca, I kind of want to hand it off to you. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your project?
Okay, great. I actually lived in Oregon and Southwest Washington for many, many years. It's influenced a lot of my writing and my stories. I have a new book coming out called George the Mouse in a Log Pile House, and it's based on a real live mouse village in Sheffield, England. A wild mouse came up to a wildlife photographer and he created this marvelous village for this wild mouse, and then there were more, and it's turned into this wonderful internet kind of sensation. And so when he was looking for an author to bring the story to life, then they chose me. So
Wow, that's amazing. I have seen, this mouse. I've seen the village for that. How did that go about? Did you know them already, or how was that process? What was that process like?
I didn't know him. I did know the illustrator, Alyssa Hansen, and I approached her to illustrate one of my other manuscripts. And she said, actually, I just got offered this project because Simon Dell, the creator, loved her illustrations that she was doing, and they'd already created a calendar and some other things. And so she asked me if I'd like to write a manuscript and see how it went. And I did, and the project's been going for a few years, and we're finally ready to launch.
Wow, amazing. We're taking a look at it here right now for those who are watching
Thank
live,
you.
seeing some of those pictures from it and the story. And, to that extent, could you tell us, and I know we want to talk about Mother's Day as well, but could you give us maybe a synopsis of what the story is about?
Well, it's partially fact and partially imagination. It's the story of how the wildlife photographer, we call him Mr. Photographer, was in his back garden and he was mowing, and he stopped, and this little mouse peeked through the grass, and he offered him a peanut and built him a home, and then it turned into a village. But the imaginative part has a wonderful message where always follow your whiskers. Your whiskers will lead you home. It's about following your heart to find the place where you belong. And there are other kind and gentle messages that we think children and readers will enjoy about taking care of the small creatures in nature, protecting and providing for their habitat, and community and kindness. All of these things are covered in George the Mouse.
Nice. And how do we bring that into Mother's Day?
Well, I think that there are so many wonderful, quiet ways to celebrate the love between moms and kids. You can share a special meal, or you can plant flowers and trees that will bloom year after year. But my favorite is sharing stories, and a book can inspire and uplift and educate and create lasting memories. And the closeness that you feel with a child when you're, sitting together and sharing a story, that feeling can last forever. And you may not remember every book and every story you read together, but you'll remember the feeling of the closeness and the kindness and the love. And I think that's a nice, quiet way to share Mother's Day with children.
Nice. And when you think about that, as far as sharing those kinds of moments, what for you would you think is one of the most important things that people should be thinking about as we go into this?
Well, we live in a really fast-paced world, and there's the growing pull of devices and distraction. And I think it's more important than ever to help children to slow down and to be calm and notice the world around them, to be present. And I've always been a nature noticer, both as a mother and as a writer, and I try to encourage that same curiosity in children when they notice the birds and the trees and the rain and where their food comes from and the small wonders around them. They begin to feel connected to the world that we share. And I think that's a gift for everyone, for kids, for moms, you know, parents and grandparents, bridging the generations, sharing the stories, and guiding children to tune into the world and its wonders is really at the heart of what I do as a writer and as a mother. And
So,
I think George the Mouse has a wonderful message that ties right into that.
so putting down the phone would be would be one way to look at that too. That letting the
Yes.
technology go. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
for people who want to, uh, get the book with all of this years of work that is taken to get to where this is, can you tell us, when, where, and how they can get their own copy of the book?
Sure. George the Mouse in a Log Pile House is available now in paperback and ebook on Amazon. And soon you'll be able to request a copy through your local bookstore and hardback and paperback.
Nice. Well, Rebecca, congratulations, on getting to this point and sharing this message. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with everyone?
Just follow your whiskers and look out for one another and for the smallest and the gentlest among us, and to be kind.
All right. Thank you very much for being here on this Friday. We appreciate your time. And yeah, congratulations and thanks for sharing this message.
Thanks so much for having me.
And we are here live in the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We've got